I never deleted his contact. This is coming from his number.
Don't pick that up. Just let it ring. Sam.
Who is this?
Hello, Samantha. Did you miss me?
I want you to think long and hard about whether you really want to do this, because the last two people that fucked with us ended up dead.
You should be thanking me, Sam. Jason and Greg were gonna kill you and your sister. I got them before they had the chance.
So what? You're protecting us now?
Not quite. I'm going to show the world who you really are. A liar and a killer. I'm going to punish you, Sam.
You shouldn't believe everything you read on the internet, asshole.
Don't be cute. You're gonna pay for what you did. And I'm not gonna stop until I butchered you. You and anyone who gets between us. You and Tara better watch your back.
You better watch yours.
Please help us! We were just call 911!
There's a fucking line here, girl. You got a problem here, guy? Hey! Go out the back!
Thank you! It's locked! He's hitting the keys!
I knew this was coming, and I'm gotta say I'm ecstatic about it, but also very impressed. Scream 6. Oh wow. So when it was announced that they were going to make a sequel or another Scream film, I was kind of on the fence. I was like, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be bad, but at the same time, I was just kind of like, I'm not really jumping up about this. And the reason why is because I felt like after 5, I felt like you guys did enough, you know? Everything came full circle. I really didn't. I wasn't excited. I didn't think it was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be great. I just wasn't excited for it. I just felt like, okay, this is about to fucking, you're going to make like fucking 12 Scream movies and just, I was just like, and they could. There is a market for it, but I was just, I loved the first 5. I didn't want, I mean, some people think the films are gotten worse. I loved 5. I loved how they brought in a new cast and respected the lore and the original characters, but with 6 I was just concerned. So I took my wife, we went to go see it, and I was impressed. Oh, and the other thing, my biggest concern was Neve Campbell wasn't in it. I felt like not having her in the film was doing a huge disservice. I just didn't agree with that, and I felt that was going to hurt the film. And I was actually surprised it didn't hurt the film. They talked about Sydney, but she just wasn't in the film because they didn't want to pay her. Hopefully, moving forward, I'll get to that in a minute. So the film is New York. That was also something new. It wasn't in Woodsboro, so I was like, okay, let's see how this goes. Pretty much everybody who survived the 5th film was in this one, outside of Neve Campbell's character, Sydney. And for the most part, it was a little different, but there was still a familiar territory with the killings and how things were done. Sam is kind of like a celebrity, but in a bad way, because everybody's saying that she did all the killings and that Richie was the good person and she murdered him, and all this bullshit. And then you have Tara, her sister, who's really trying to move on with her life and not trying to focus on what happened and thinks like this is something that happened in the past, gotta let it go. But Sam's like, something ain't right. And then lo and behold, people start getting killed, of course. And for the most part, it's just about trying to figure out why is it being done and who's doing it. For the most part, I enjoyed Scream 6 just as much as the other ones. However, now when I look back on it, there was one thing I didn't like, and let me see, who was it? There we are. So, how do I say this? I wasn't surprised about anything in the film. There was no twists and turns. I just enjoyed it. It was a good horror popcorn flick for me. It was entertaining. However, I did not care for Mindy. I have gotten to the point where she was tolerable in the 5th film. Now she's just fucking annoying. I don't really care for her character. I feel like they're trying too hard. Instead of letting things flow naturally with her, she just comes off like they just keep trying to push things with her just for her to run her fucking mouth. And she's not really doing anything. Even Chad, I felt, did a lot more this time around, and I enjoyed him a lot more this time around. I liked how he had kind of, you know, his character had progressed a little bit, but his sister Mindy was just same old shit, and it was getting to a point where, like, Randy, even though Randy only survived 2 films, which, Wes, Randy had a progression. Randy got better and better kind of thing. But he was never annoying to where he just runs his fucking mouth. At a certain point, he was chill. I just felt Randy should have been able to last a little longer, I guess. Whereas Mindy is just kind of like, she's just kind of become a cliche, and she's not entertaining. And if she got killed off, I really wouldn't give two shit. I mean, I don't want to see her get killed off. And if she did, I'd like to see her, you know, kill one of the... If they do a Scream 7 and then she dies, but she kills one of the killers before she dies, I would be okay with that. But don't just kill her off. But at the same time, if she did get killed off and she went out fighting, I'd be okay with that. Just don't let her die otherwise. But I didn't care for her character in here. I felt like every time she had something to say, it was just regurgitating or manipulating or, you know, flipping it on its head about something that Randy probably would have said, and it just felt forced. It didn't feel natural. The progression between Tara and Chad, I was cool with that, and I didn't see any issue with that. I thought that was really cool to progress it that way. It's not that it made sense, but it worked. But and the other thing I really enjoyed about this film was the museum. For those who have watched it, and then those who haven't watched it, you'll see what I'm talking about when you see it. I thought the museum part was really badass. Just to see all the nostalgia. I thought that was really cool. Sick and sadistic and disturbing, but cool nonetheless. And Courtney Cox was cool. I mean, for her time in the film, she didn't have as much. Maybe because at this point, I think they were trying to keep her in just to keep people interested in seeing the film. Which is, you know, I loved Courtney. I always felt Courtney Cox was great in the Scream film, so I didn't have an issue with that. As far as the killers, it made sense. Didn't have a problem with that. However... Oh, well, let me get my rating. So my rating is a 9 out of 10, yes, sirs. It's not perfect, but it's good. Now, this is my concern. If they decide to make another film, and it's already hinting at it, and I just hope, please, I really hope they don't do this. But a part of me is starting to think that they're going to keep pushing this, like this, Scream 5 is kind of like the beginning of Sam. I just feel like they're going to keep pushing this to the point where she ends up becoming a killer. And I really hope they don't do that. A killer to defend her family or herself, I get it. But pushing her into that avenue to be like her father, that's where I think I'm going to check out. I really hope they don't do that, because... You've already established the character to be likable. You've already established her to be a strong, well-written character, one who thinks, one who's able to fight back if she has to. And for you guys to twist that into where now she's going to start killing people just because she's tired of people making comments about her. She's fine, might as well just play the role kind of thing. I just hope I really hope you don't do that. And I really hope they don't do that with Jenna Ortega's character too. I just hope, just stop the films before it gets to a point where you kill off these characters or you turn them into villains. I at that point, if either one of that happens, I'm kind of just going to check out. Because killing off Dewey, I understand it, but I felt like he should have died at the end of the film, killing one of the killers. I understand how they did it, but for me, it would have been better if he had went out fight, like killing off one of the killers. I'd have been better satisfied with that. That didn't happen. The way he died, he didn't die in a whimper either, but the way I would have preferred him to go out that didn't happen. My other concern is that they proceed forward with another film that they talked about, is that they bring Neve Campbell back and they kill her off. Not okay with that. That's where I would be more inclined to not want to watch these films moving forward, because then it just becomes a thing where you just switch in and switch out characters now. You just bring in new characters nobody cares about, kill them off, and you just keep doing that. It's kind of this thing where if you have established a new cast of characters, I'm not saying they need to keep being alive, but at the same time, you need to know where it's like, okay, stop. Stop making Scream films and killing off the cast that people have grown to enjoy. Because once you keep doing that, then there's no point in us watching the films, because it turns into the cliche, like, what's the point? You're just going to fucking kill. Okay, I loved Sam. You butchered the character now, where now she's a villain, or you killed her off. What reason is there for me to watch another film? You killed off a character that I love. I love Sam. I love Tara. I love Chad. I don't like Mindy, but I enjoy these characters. They're well-written characters. I love them. And I was surprised. I didn't expect Scream 5 to be what it was, and I didn't expect 6 to be what it was. But I was very happy with it. So it's kind of like, either stop making the movies before you butcher these characters, or you butcher the original, because now we only do have Sidney and Gale. Everybody else is gone. And I don't personally want to see Courtney Cox get killed, and I don't want to see Sidney or turn them into villains. I don't want to see these characters get turned into villains or killed off, the new cast, and I don't want to see Courtney or Neve get killed or turned into villains either. So, but then at the same time, it's like, how many close calls can they have before they finally get killed? So, it's a tough situation, but at the same time, then don't put them in the films. Then, if you're not going to, if you can't keep them in the films because they keep surviving, just let them live their lives like off screen kind of thing, and they're not. And for the audience, they're not dead. They're somewhere else, and leave it that way. Because that now it's getting to a point where 6 films in, I'm starting to feel like that's what's going to happen. You're either going to kill off Sam and Tara, or one of them's going to become a villain, or you're going to kill off Gale or Sidney, or one of them's going to become a villain. And Chad, I really think, might be on the chopping block. I really hope they don't do that, because I enjoy him too. So my concern is just, at this point, you got to move the story forward, but at the same time, when you kill off the likable characters, you make the audience, the fans, check out. Where it's like, I don't want to watch this shit no more. I got to be honest. I mean, when even Wes Craven admitted to it. Wes Craven, he admitted that when they killed off Randy, it was a huge fucking backlash, and he was right. It was bad taste. I'm not saying Randy. If Randy should have been killed off, it should have been towards the end, and he went out fighting. I could have respected that. But how they killed him off, and it was and you know, and he was a lovable character. He was the reason why I even got into watching Scream. He was the reason. I'm not knocking Nev Campbell, but I loved him every time he came on screen. I loved him. He was the guy that spoke to me because I'm a film goer, I'm a gamer. He was the guy that got my attention where I could relate. And killing him off like you did, it just kind of, to this day, it just kind of is like, it was a thin line, like the edge of a knife kind of thing, where, you know, a part of me was just like, let me just finish this film and I'm done with Scream and just enjoy the first one. And then another part of me was like, well, I don't like it, but it's not a bad film because of it. But it bothered me for a while. And Craven knew that was a gamble. He did what he did, but at the same time, okay, and you know, late Wes Craven, great filmmaker, he's no longer with us. But it's like, do you really want to try that shit again? Doing something like that, where you kill off a character or you make him a villain at this point? Or period, because now it is becoming more evident with movies is that people who really love films, especially something like Scream, we're invested in the characters. We're not invested in the gore part. Most of us. I'm not invested in the horror scenes. I'm invested in the good dialogue, good story, good characters. And when you take away the characters that I like, and it get, you know, where we started with 5, now we're on the next film, we only have 3. The next film we only have 2 because you killed them off or something. It gets to a point where I'm just like, I have no interest in watching these films anymore because you killed off everybody that I liked. Oh, there's only one person left. That's not enough anymore. I'm not saying the whole Scooby-Doo gang should survive, but at the same time, if you know that's going to be a problem, like what I'm saying, it's a catch-22 kind of thing, then either stop making Scream movies with these characters, or at the same time, stop making Scream films in general. Because if you kill off everybody, then it gets to a point where people like me, I have no interest in watching these films anymore because you've taken away all the character. You've taken away why I enjoy these movies. Like, you know, they go to Scream 9 and hypothetically Sam and Tara are dead and Courtney Cox gets killed halfway through the film, and then Nev Campbell's character shows up, but then we find out that she's the villain. It's just like, what the fuck? Like, even if there was things that led up to, like, even still, no. So I don't mean to keep going on a rant. I'm just saying, I'm just really concerned now. That's really my biggest fear moving forward, is that they do some shit like that. To get the audience to be like, oh, you didn't see that coming, or something like that. But at the same time, it's like jumping the shark. So I really hope that with Scream 7, if the direction they're moving, just don't do something like that. That would really just bum me out into where I would have no interest in. I want to keep watching these films. I want to keep going to the theater to see these films. But at the same time, I don't want to. I would really, you know, start tuning out if they go down this road. So I really hope that doesn't happen. So sorry for the long rant. It's just something that's been brewing on my mind since I realized I was going to do this review, that I am concerned now moving forward what's going to happen with the cast that survived here and Courtney Cox and Nev Campbell if they utilize them again. You know, I'm just kind of concerned about, you know, how are you going to treat these characters moving forward? And even if it's not 7, if they decide to make an 8 after 7, you know, just, you know, it's like, I don't want to, before I go, I don't want what happened with Halloween 8, okay? I don't want something like that, how Jamie Lee Curtis behind the scenes said what she said. I don't want something like that to happen, because that's the main reason why I never watched Halloween 8, because you literally killed Laurie Strode at the beginning of the film. And I was just like, I'm not watching this. When people told me this, I'm not watching it. There's no. You know, it's just, you guys get what I'm saying. All right. Anyway, I will catch you on the next one. Take care.